Yugoslavian and Hungarian borders lies the magnificent Österreich Ring, 3.7 miles long, surrounded by superb scenery and very fast indeed. And as ever, a vast crowd of sun-baked, camping, beer-festing enthusiasts is here to see the Austrian Grand Prix. Now, today's race could transform the World Championship table, for after his win in Germany, Nelson Piquet is only 8 points behind Carlos Reutemann, while Jacques Laffite, the reigning champion Alan Jones, Gilles Villeneuve, John Watson and Alain Prost are all still in the running. But it's no surprise that for the third successive year, René Arnoux exploited his turbocharged Renault's power advantage at the ring's 2,000-foot altitude to win pole position on the starting grid, with his teammate Prost second, another turbo, Villeneuve's Ferrari, third, and then Lafitte's Talbot, the two Williams of Reutemann and Jones.
Man hat die Kilometer und die Meilen, ich glaube, ein bisschen anders umgerechnet. Man ist draufgekommen, dass die bisherige Grand Prix-Distanz um 690 Meter zu lang war. Darum heute 53 Runden, a 5,9424 Kilometer, Gesamtdistanz 314,951 Kilometer. Und im Bild haben Sie den Trainingsschnellsten, den kleinen Franzosen René Arnoux mit dem Renault Turbo. René Arnoux hat in Österreich zum dritten Mal hintereinander bereits Trainingsbestzeit aufgestellt mit 1,32,01, allerdings um 2,26 langsamer als seine Bestzeit 1980. Es ist heute sehr heiß in Zeltweg, weit über 30 Grad Hitze, also keineswegs ideales Turbowetter, allerdings ist jetzt ziemlich bewölkt und es könnte sein, dass es im Lauf der 1,5 Stunden, die der Grand Prix dauern wird, noch ein bisschen abkühlen wird. Die Reifen werden natürlich bei solch heißen Temperaturen eine mitentscheidende Rolle spielen. Alain Prost, der Sieger von Dijon im französischen Grand Prix, ist gemeinsam mit Arnoux in der ersten Reihe. Zum vierten Mal also in dieser Saison bereits ein Trainingsdoppelsieg für Renault und zum dritten Mal Trainingsbestzeit für den kleinen Franzosen René Arnoux, der auf dem Österreichring immer großartige Rennen gefahren hat, meistens durch Reifenschäden an die Box gezwungen wurde, aber immer wieder großartige Aufholjagden gefahren hat und bis jetzt 9., 6. und 9. in diesem Rennen war. Alain Prost war voriges Jahr 7. Der beste Nicht-Renault-Fahrer ist Gilles Villeneuve mit dem Ferrari Nummer 27. Villeneuve war auf dem Österreich-Ring schon einmal Dritter, einmal Zweiter und einmal Achter. Der Turbo musste allerdings heute ausgewechselt werden nach dem Aufwärmtraining. Und Villeneuve hatte auch gestern eine Schrecksekunde im Abschlusstraining, als plötzlich ein Reh unmittelbar vor ihm die Fahrbahn überquerte. Daraufhin musste das Training auf etwa eine halbe Stunde unterbrochen werden. Villeneuve also drittschnellste im Training, fährt heute seinen 58. Grand Prix. Und das, glaube ich, ist ein Geheimtipp für heute, der Franzose Jacques Laffite mit dem 12-Zylinder Ligier Talbot Matra. Er ist der beste Nicht-Turbofahrer, hat auf dem Österreich-Ring immer hervorragende Ergebnisse erzielt, 2., 5., 3. und 4. und er ist zuletzt auf dem Hockenheimring schon auf den 3. Platz der Weltmeisterschaftswertung vorgestoßen. Laffite hat im Training Schwierigkeiten gehabt mit der Hydraulik, die Chassis-Hydraulik ist mehrmals geklemmt und zwar in der Obenposition und wenn Sie ins Cockpit schauen, so sehen Sie rechtsseitig einen Knopf, mit dem der Fahrer verstellen kann, die Chassis-Hydraulik, also entweder Boden-Parterrelage oder die geforderten 6 cm Bodenfreiheit. Falls Sie am Montag in Sport am Montag zugeschaut haben, haben Sie gesehen, wie idiotisch eigentlich diese Regel ist.
Ja, ich finde das total deppert, weil es ist erstens viel gefährlicher, jetzt die Autos zu fahren, wie sie früher waren. Die Fahrer schalten das Auto hinunter, dann fahren sie ihre schnellen Runden, wenn sie in die Box fahren und über diesen Eisenstange drüber fahren müssen, pumpen sie ihr Auto hydraulisch oder pressluftartig hinauf, fahren über diese Kontrolle und kaum fahren sie drüber, lassen das Auto wieder hinunter. Die Autos haben keine Bodenfreiheit mehr beim Rennen. Das heißt, die Fahrer werden irrsinnig beansprucht und die Federwege sind nicht mehr da. Und die Radaufhängungen sind heute, sagt Gordon Murray, 50 Mal mehr belastet wie früher und die Autos können viel leichter brechen. Ich finde das eine totale Idiotie, dass das so gemacht wird und das Reglement wird in der Richtung sofort geändert.
Im Grunde genommen sind die Formel-1-Wagen Go-Karts geworden, so knapp fahren die Fahrer über den Boden und so hart sind die Fahrzeuge gefedert. 3. Startreihe, beide Williams-Fahrer, Carlos Reutemann war schneller als sein Teamkollege Alan Jones und zwar schneller um 12 Sekunden. Carlos Reutemann, der Führende der Weltmeisterschaft, schnellster Ford-Cosworth-Fahrer und auch der schnellste Goodyear-Fahrer im Training, hat hier schon einmal gewonnen, ein Hitzerennen 1974. Die beiden anderen Fahrer, die schon einmal den Österreich Grand Prix gewonnen haben, John Watson 1975, 76 bzw. Alan Jones 1977 mit dem Shadow vor Niki Lauda und 1979 mit dem Williams. Alan Jones war in den inoffiziellen Trainings der schnellste. Offiziell waren immer die anderen Fahrer, die Renault-Fahrer in den offiziellen Trainings die schnellsten. Und hier sehen Sie die berühmte 6 cm Regel, wie sie heute praktiziert wird. Sie haben gesehen, nicht einmal einen Schuh bringt der Mechaniker noch zwischen Auto und Boden. Alan Jones, der Weltmeister, zweimalige Zeltwegsieger, ist auf den 4. Platz der diesjährigen Wertung zurückgefallen, war wie gesagt in den beiden inoffiziellen Vormittagstrainings der schnellste. Hat heuer schon 2 Grand Prix verloren, weil es irgendeinen Defekt im Benzinsystem des Williams gegeben hat. Monte Carlo und Hockenheim. Bei Williams ist man überzeugt, dass man durch die Testfahrten in den letzten 2 Wochen diesen Fehler behoben hat. Ob es wirklich wahr ist, werden wir sehen. Jones fährt heute seinen 92. Grand Prix. 11 Siege hat er bereits verzeichnet. 4. Startreihe geht sich noch aus. Nelson Piquet und Didier Pironi. Nelson Piquet ist der einzige Fahrer, der heuer schon 3 Grand Prix-Rennen gewonnen hat. Zuletzt Hockenheim, allerdings deutscher Grand Prix, Sieg vom 3. Startplatz aus. Der Österreich-Ring ist die Lieblingsrennstrecke des Brasilianers, obwohl er hier noch nie besonders gut abgeschnitten hat. Nelson Piquet ist zweimal ausgeschieden und war einmal 5. Sie können es nicht genau erkennen, aber es gibt ihm auf dem Lenkrad eine Digitalanzeige, bei der Nelson Piquet im Training sich selber die Runden stoppen kann, beziehungsweise er kann am Beginn des Trainings genau die Zeit einstellen und weiß dann jeweils genau, wie viele Minuten das Training noch dauert. Nelson Piquet mit dem Brett fort und hier zeigt uns Regisseur Luki Schmidleitner die Digitalanzeige am Lenkrad. Es gibt noch einige Kontrollleuchten, zum Beispiel das gelbe Licht, das bedeutet, dass der Wagen gerade ob also die Chassishydraulik gerade eingeschaltet ist oder nicht. Didier Pironi mit dem Ferrari Turbo ist 8 schnellste im Training, hatte Freitag einen Unfall, hatte Samstag 2 Turboschäden und der Grund ist wahrscheinlich der, dass man bei Ferrari den Ladedruck im Training immer wesentlich erhöht. Dadurch halten die Motoren oft nur 2 oder 3 Runden und im Training baut man im Rennenpause und nach dem Training andere Motoren ein und reduziert den Ladedruck dementsprechend. Nummer 32 Jean-Pierre Jarier mit dem Osella, er war schon zweimal Achter mit diesem Auto. 14. Startplatz ist die bis jetzt beste Leistung für diesen Fahrer und diesen Wagen in einem Training. Jean-Pierre Jarier hat heute seinen 100. Grand Prix. Das ist der einzige von den Rennfahrern, die schon 100 Grand Prix gefahren haben und noch keine gewonnen haben. Aufwärmrunde, es geht bergauf zum Heller Lichtes. Diese Schikane wird genommen im 2. Gang mit 140 Kilometern.
Where they built the chicane to slow the cars down. They used to go through that about 180 at full chat. It was pretty dangerous if anybody came off there. That's a straight, that's not a bend that they're going around now. It's a very, very fast circuit. They'd be getting up to full speed in top gear along the straight. There they go, and they come down to all the corners here are fast. There isn't really a slow corner on the circuit. This particular corner would be taken in 4th gear if you've got a 5-speed box, or 5th if you've got a 6-speed box, and it'd be doing something like 140, 150 miles an hour through there. This is the fastest part of the circuit. Now they come down the hill away from that right-hand corner into the Bosch curve, which again, very fast, long, 180-degree corner, taken at well over 130 miles an hour. Bit of camber there, get terrific load for the drivers at the bottom of this corner. They get bumped around in the car a lot. And the big G-forces, which of course makes it very hard work to drive. Then they go away down that short straight. As you see, there's a little hump that they disappear over as they go down. You can see them turning left there. As they go down that left hand, the road falls away quite sharply. The car goes very light. And then they bottom out there. Another left-hander coming. Again, all fast corners. This will be taken 2 gears away from top, 3rd or 4th, depending on your box. Again. And then they come out of the left-hand side of the road a bit because they go right over this little brow here. Again, the car goes very light over the brow. Makes it very important for them to set up right into that corner in order to take it flat out. They should take it without lifting off at all, but you've got to have it set up right to start off with. Now weaving about to warm the tyres up a bit. Down the hill, and then they've come up over a brow, which we didn't see, and then down into the final corner, which is again another 180-degree corner, another right-hander taken in 3rd or 4th gear, probably at about 120 miles an hour, something like that. And now the lead car, the pole car, will be slowing up. They come round the corner. Yes, there they come in the distance. Letting the field bunch up so that he doesn't have to sit for too long. Revving his engine up with the car in gear so that it doesn't burn his clutch or boil his water, because of a hot day like this he'll be struggling a bit.
And those of you who have been following the practice may be surprised to see that caption. This race has been reduced in length from 54 laps to 53 laps, and that's a distance of 195.7 miles an hour. On the left-hand side of the front rank of the grid is René Arnoux. Then, just slightly behind him, because it's a staggered grid, is Alain Prost. Then Gilles Villeneuve, and you'll notice there are 3 turbos which are slower at getting away than the normally aspirated cars. Behind them is Jacques Lafitte, and the lights, when they go from green to red, take about 3 seconds. Away they've gone. It's Prost into the lead. It's Villeneuve streaking up on the inside as they go up the hill towards the Hellelique curve. Villeneuve, with less turbocharged lag on the Ferrari, got an absolutely superb start, and it's Villeneuve leading through the Hellelique curve, followed by Prost and Arnoux, and Lafitte and Pironi is well up. So it is the 4 turbocharged cars, the 2 Ferrari, the 2 left-handers, and that's where Derek Daly went off at such enormous speed last year in the Tyrrell. But it's still Villeneuve, Renault, Pironi, Lafitte. Then Piquet is up into another position. There goes Piquet. And Alan Jones is behind his teammate Carlos Reutemann as they go over the crest of the hill and into the Jochen Rindt curve, which is a 145 mile an hour bend from 4th gear test, as it were. And so now the 2 Renaults are in the lead, and we can expect to see a storming drive from Villeneuve in the Ferrari, who will be out to get those places back. And in the Ferrari, which doesn't handle as well as the Ford Cosworth powered cars, he's going to have all his time cut out.
Yes, I think that might be a bit of an expensive mistake for Villeneuve there. It was caused because he was fighting to protect his place in the lead then, but he was really beaten. I think he should have braked a little bit earlier and let it go, because he's going to have an awful struggle to make that back up now. He made a fabulous start. He'd qualified the car well. I don't think the car's race form will be good enough to make places up, having dropped them like that. So that's a shame, but it'll be a big sigh of relief for the Cosworth-powered drivers behind him, because it's the old story of the mobile chicane again, as Alan Jones referred to the Ferrari, and that presents a big problem, as we've seen several times this year, for overtaking with the cars with less power.
Well, now with turbos first, second and third, with Prost leading Arnoux and Pironi in the Ferrari third. Look at that, because Jacques Lafitte in the Sauber Vectra in 4th position has got Didier Pironi in front of him, and meantime the 2 turbocharged Renaults are breaking away. Pironi has got a build-up behind him, because there is Lafitte in 4th place, Piquet in 5th position. Then there is Villeneuve back in the running. Now Villeneuve has come right up through the field. He has passed Reutemann and Jones, and he's starting to close up on Nelson Piquet that we're looking at now. So there are the 3rd, 4th and 5th men, Pironi, Lafitte and Piquet. In 7th position, Villeneuve, and Villeneuve running wide. Reutemann behind Alan Jones, over the crest of the hill again. And all the time, the 2 turbocharged Renaults are making the most of the advantage that they've got, with Pironi holding up Jacques Lafitte, with Piquet closing up on Lafitte, and there is Villeneuve, number 27, as the leaders will be coming through any moment to complete the 3rd lap in 53. They're round the Texaco bends. There is Villeneuve, and he really is going. He's clawed his way past 2 or 3 competitors since he went off at the Hellelique curve. Villeneuve, Jones, Reutemann through. Jones and Reutemann right behind Villeneuve, having been past him, and meantime the leaders appear at the end of lap 3, and across the line go Prost leading, Arnoux is in second place. Now there's a big gap developing. Then it's Pironi, Lafitte, Piquet, Villeneuve, Jones and Reutemann. There is the battle, the flash from the turbo as Didier Pironi is first place backed off, and right behind him Jacques Lafitte and now Nelson Piquet.
Yeah, you can see the problem with this group here, these three, is very, very serious, with Pironi is seriously holding them up. He goes just leaping away from them down the straight. Look how much he's pulled since the chicane, just on pure power, and then through the corners, the conventionally aspirated cars come leaping back up to his exhaust pipe just to see him whistle away again with his turbocharger. And quite what they're going to do to pass him, other than hope that he breaks down or makes some sort of a mistake, I really don't know. I mean, it's easier very often when you're sitting up here in a commentary box to see ways to get round people than it is out on the track, and I can't even think of an idea sitting here. But now you see they'll come leaping up to him again, and there goes Pironi. And of course Villeneuve is presenting exactly the same problem. Now look at him pull away with the power. As soon as he gets on the powers, he's out of the corner. They're back up under braking. He's having a go. I think that's the only place, either there or the next corner. Lafitte may be able to have a little stab through at this next left-hander, but it's a mighty difficult place to have a go.
Well, let's see if he does. Pironi third, Jacques Lafitte, number 26, in fourth position. This is lap 4. Piquet is in fifth place. And now you can see how Pironi is holding them up, because the rest behind Piquet are starting to close, and as the leaders go through, Arnoux and Prost, there is an ever-increasing gap. Then it's Pironi, Lafitte, Piquet, Jones, and Villeneuve has been passed by both Jones and Reutemann.
Man sieht aber genau, wie Pironi eigentlich diese 3-4 Fahrer echt aufhält, weil er in den Kurven echt langsam ist.
Das heißt, aus dem Dreikampf wird sehr bald ein Fünfkampf werden, wenn die beiden Williams von Jones und Reutemann wieder aufgeschlossen haben.
Das ist richtig.
Große Frage im heutigen Grand Prix. Bis jetzt schnellste Runde René Arnoux mit 1:38,38, Schnitt 217 Kilometer pro Stunde, 1:38,38.
Man hat jetzt wirklich genau gesehen, wie diese Autos herumhupfen auf dieser Strecke, was eine irrsinnige Belastung ist. Lafitte probiert es jetzt innen wieder. Sie werden sehen, er ist in der Kurve wieder schneller, wird innen versuchen vorzufahren, und wenn es dann ums Beschleunigen geht, fährt der Ferrari wieder weg. Piquet versucht jetzt Lafitte auszubremsen. Hoffentlich sieht man es. Und Piquet hat Lafitte überholt. Hoffentlich bleibt er jetzt vorn. Jetzt wird Piquet versuchen, an den Ferrari sich heranzumachen. Und jetzt will man sehen, was Lafitte mit Pironi macht. Sie sehen, er ist wesentlich schneller. Er muss natürlich die Angriffe von Lafitte jetzt auch abwehren. Es kann aber sein, dass ihn jetzt ein paar Runden in Ruhe lässt, um zu sehen, wie schnell er wirklich fährt. Sie sehen, wie viel schneller der Brabham in der Kurve ist. Und Lafitte versucht jetzt innen. Wichtig ist, dass Piquet jetzt links bleibt, um nicht Lafitte innen die Linie freizugeben in die nächste Kurve. Und
so Piquet held on to his place all right, but he'd be mighty anxious to get past the Ferrari and get after the two Renaults, because I don't think the Renaults are going that quickly. And on the practice form this morning in the warm-up, I think that Piquet should be able to certainly hold his ground with them if he can only deal with the red problem in front of him.
Well, the leaders are through, having completed 6 laps, and I've got the watch running with Pironi, Piquet, Lafitte, Jones and Reutemann. And incidentally, have a look at the way these cars handle on the circuit, especially coming out of the Hella-League curve. It's very, very bumpy at parts of this circuit, and the cars are now set up so that there is only 1 inch of suspension travel. And indeed, in practice yesterday, some of the cars were practicing with virtually no springs at all, and just on the bump stop, which makes them, in effect, 500 horsepower cars spelled with a K, and it makes them incredibly difficult to handle. And the gap between this as Nelson Piquet challenges Didier Pironi and goes through, and so now Nelson Piquet is up into third position, followed by Jacques Lafitte, both of them taking Pironi, and Jones tucking in behind Lafitte, but no, Pironi holds it, he's still in third place, but Piquet all over him, and the gap is extending all the time between the Renaults and Pironi, and it's 12.5 seconds at the end of the previous lap. Prost leading Arnoux with Pironi third, then Piquet in the Brabham, Lafitte in the Talbot Matra, and Alan Jones, and you're looking at Jones, the last of this batch, and behind him is his teammate Carlos Reutemann. Behind Reutemann is Riccardo Patrese, and then Villeneuve, and look as Piquet tries again. And so there's a perfect example of how difficult the cars are to control. Alan Jones's near side front and rear wheels both right off the ground. This is the end of lap 8. The leaders are already through as this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 car battle for second place crosses the line. No change. Pironi will try to hold back Piquet. Piquet will have no choice but to stay where he is as they go through the Hellelicht curve, which, by the way, is a second gear bend, and they take it at some 75 miles an hour. Now they're up into third, fourth, fifth gears, and at the point they're at now, it's a 165 mile an hour run up to the right-handed black curve. Pironi in the Scarlet Ferrari third. Nelson Piquet trying again as they go up the hill to the highest point of the course. This is where he tried to take Pironi last time. But when Pironi gets over the crest of the hill, he can keep his foot down, and that's where the turbo power of the Ferrari will start to tell. This is the fastest part of the course as they come up to the Bosch curve. 175 miles an hour, 145 round here. And now Lafitte is going to try. But Pironi using the power, and Lafitte is through, up into third position again. Jacques Lafitte at the Texaco Benz on lap 8 out of 53 retakes third position from Nelson Piquet as the leaders go through and complete their 8th lap. The two Renaults have got an enormous lead now. Last year it was a similar situation with Jean-Pierre Savoy leading his teammate René Arnoux. Arnoux had to come in for tyres 4 times.
That's marvellous stuff. He took that from a long way behind. He must have really screwed himself up, shut his eyes and prayed as he did that. It was a marvellous piece of driving by Lafitte. And now where's the Ferrari gone? Because Piquet got through as well. Unfortunately, we were tied in with a close-up there, and I think what must have happened is that as he saw the unexpected figure of Lafitte, because I'm sure he wasn't expecting it then, Pironi, that he came alongside, and that's, of course, he's in trouble, because Pironi seems to have slowed down, because now Jones goes through. No, he's fighting back, so he's not dead yet. He's probably in handling trouble. But Jones is through as well. Well, those 3 drivers will be breathing a huge sigh of relief, probably not quite out of the woods yet, because from that distance Pironi might just catch Alan Jones on the straight. He was having a go at him before. No, he's not going to do it. Jones is away and safe. Now you watch this gap build as they go away from Pironi. Well, the Piquet and Jones have both got the beat to thank for that. It was a marvellous attacking piece of manoeuvre from far out, and this should liven the race up. Now we've got to watch the gap to see if they can catch the Renaults.
And I will put the stopwatch on the Renaults as they complete a lap. There's the fastest lap so far, significantly. Gilles, that's the speed along the straight, 305 kilometres an hour, and I can't turn that into miles an hour in my head and talk to you at the same time, so I will hope that you've got a calculator. But it's about 180 miles an hour. Well, the positions on lap 10 are that in the lead is Prost, in second place is Arnoux, in third place now is Jacques Lafitte, in fourth place Nelson Piquet, in fifth position is Alan Jones, down to sixth place has gone Didier Pironi, Behind him is Carlos Reutemann, then Riccardo Patrese. And here, as they come round the exit from the Texaco bend, is Jacques Lafitte, Piquet, Pironi. And in the background, I saw a flash of an orange car. That must be Siegfried Sturr's car, because I see that Riccardo Patrese in this replay is still in the running. Well, the positions on lap 10 are that in the lead is Prost. In second place is Arnoux. In third place now is Jacques Lafitte. In fourth place, Nelson Piquet. In fifth position is Alan Jones. Down to sixth place has gone Didier Pironi. Behind him is Carlos Reutemann, then Riccardo Patrese.
Wichtig ist es nur, dass die Renault langsam fahren, weil je langsamer sie fahren, desto mehr Chancen haben sie, das Rennen gut zu gewinnen.
Nachricht von den Boxen, Derek Daly mit dem March war in der Box und hat die Zündbox ausgewechselt. Ja, warum waren die Renault Turbos eigentlich immer so schnell? Viermal ein Trainingsdoppelsieg hintereinander und trotzdem nur ein Sieg in Dijon. Was ist nachher passiert in Silverstone? Doppelführung für die beiden Renault-Fahrer und dann haben in beiden Wagen die Ventile überhitzt. Hockenheimring, da gab es dieses missglückte Überrundungsmanöver. René Arnoux hat seinem Stallgefährten bei der Überrundung Schwierigkeiten gemacht. Das Ergebnis war, dass Alan Jones in Führung fahren konnte, dann das Rennen aber verloren hat, weil er immer langsamer wurde, weil sein Motor Fehlzündungen bekommen hat. Und so gewann Nelson Piquet dann vom dritten Platz weg und macht die Weltmeisterschaft wieder spannend. Denn sollte Piquet heute gewinnen und heute man keinen Punkt machen, dann würde Piquet mit einem Punkt Vorsprung in der Weltmeisterschaft führen. 8 Punkte sind es im Augenblick zwischen den beiden Fahrern in der Weltmeisterschaft. Heute man hat 43 Punkte, Piquet 35, Lafitte 25, Jones 24, Schindler 21, Watson 20, Prost 10, Patrese 10, Schieber 10 und weit zurück René Arnoux an 13. Stelle mit erst 5 Punkten, obwohl er dreimal hintereinander Training schnellster war. Das Tempo des Rennens ist nicht gestiegen, immer noch Arnoux, schnellste Runde aus der vierten Runde mit 1,38. Grund ist vielleicht der, dass es wieder heißer geworden ist, die Wolken haben sich verzogen, die gesamte Strecke liegt in der prallen Sonne.
Ja, Piquet wird jetzt sicher versuchen, an Lafitte zu bleiben und wenn möglich fortzufahren, damit er einen sicheren Vorsprungsieg auf Jones und Reutemann herausfährt, was für Piquet jetzt irrsinnig wichtig wäre.
Die Ferrari-Fahrer, die also am Beginn des Rennens unter den ersten 4 waren, sind weit zurückgefallen. Pironi ist...
And we look at Jacques Lafitte, who is third, looking across the circuit at the Texaco curve, and that's Villeneuve. Gilles Villeneuve in a shattered Ferrari. We didn't see what happened, but it happened at the Bosch curve because those distinctive white marks, the white painting and the lettering indicate that it's the Bosch curve. So Gilles Villeneuve on lap 13 out of 53 is very much out of the race with a shattered Ferrari, and we've seen a lot of Villeneuve shattered Ferraris because Gilles in this car, which handles very, very badly indeed, just never gives up. He always keeps his foot absolutely flat, and on lap 13, on lap 13 out of 53, the race order is Alain Prost, Renault, leading René Arnoux, Renault. In third place, Jacques Lafitte in the Talbot Matra. In fourth place, Nelson Piquet in the Brabham. In fifth place, Alan Jones, and completing the World Championship point standings at the moment is sixth place, Carlos Reutemann, and there's still 40 laps to go. Along the course as the two Renaults go up the hill from the start and finish point. in formation through the Hellelic curve. French cars, French drivers, French engines, and the gap is 16.5 seconds. So, yes, Arnoux in second place and Prost in third position are losing out to Jacques Lafitte, but by very, very little. The two Frenchmen in the Renaults have got a very, very comfortable cushion as we look back along the course to find the battle for third position. Here it is, Jacques Lafitte, Torben Matra, into the Glatz curve. Alan Jones in fourth place behind him. Alan Jones, who won at Long Beach, second in Brazil, and is only in fourth place in the World Championship, the reigning World Champion. Piquet there.
Yes, at the moment, the Piquet seems to be holding the others off fairly comfortably. Piquet doesn't seem to be able to get that close to him. At the same time, Alan Jones seems to be fairly comfortably settled where he is. Just a word about Alan Jones, as Larry was saying, current world champion, lying only fourth in the championship. It should be said that, certainly in my opinion, he's driven far and away the best he'd ever driven this season. He's had an absolutely marvellous season. He's just been hugely unlucky. He drove quite brilliant races at both Monte Carlo and Hockenheim. Had probably the same fuel feed problem on each occasion, let him down right at the end. It's been really cruel luck for him.
Lap 14, and as we look at Nelson Piquet, who is in fourth position, the gap is just under 16 seconds between the two leaders, the Renaults, and Jacques Lafitte and Nelson Piquet, who is in fourth place. And in fifth place, it's the man from Glenburn, Victoria in Australia, Alan Jones, followed by Carlos Reutemann. Then in seventh position is Didier Pironi, who, unlike his teammate Gilles Villeneuve, who went off in such a big way on lap 13, is still in the running. Then in eighth position is Nigel Mansell. In ninth place, Riccardo Patrese. In 10th position, John Watson. And behind John Watson in 10th place, Elio De Angelis in 11th place. And in 12th position is Patrick Tambay. And by the way, the Chilean driver, Eliseo Salazar, is well up in the running. He's in 13th position, and that's a terrific achievement, because he's in an ensign which is much, much slower than all the cars in front of him and a lot behind him, and he certainly hasn't got anything like the race experience of, for instance, Jacques Lafitte, who is in his 104th Grand Prix. In third position, building up the points very nicely, Lafitte, who is third in the World Championship. Lafitte, he was in sixth position in Brazil. He finished second in Belgium. He finished third in Monaco, second again in Spain, and two more third places in Britain and Germany has put him well up in the World Championship, indeed in third place, behind that man, number 2, Carlos Reutemann. And there is Pironi being chased by Nigel Mansell and Riccardo Patrese. And Pironi at the present moment is in 7th position.
Quite amazing, isn't it? Every time we see a Ferrari, we see a huge queue behind it. And it really is very, very frustrating if you're following somebody, to drive in that situation, work hard, held up round every corner, and then just watch them disappear down every straight. There they are, there they go again. Pironi disappears off the distance down the straight. They'll close right up to him on the corner, but there's just no way round, or no easy way, unless you're prepared to stick your neck right out, as Lafitte did, which was, he did the only thing possible, and it really was a spectacularly brave and skillful overtaking manoeuvre.
The battle for 7th place then on lap 16. Didier Pironi in the Ferrari being chased by Britain's Nigel Mansell in the John Player Special, and Mansell going round the Bosch curve and trying to get through on the inside, but he'll never do that. Pironi can put his foot down here, keep the inside line of the Texaco bends. This is where Derek Daly went off last year. Nigel Mansell driving absolutely superbly. He said after the warm-up period this morning that he was very, very happy with the balance of the car, which is more, I'm sure, than Didier Pironi is. He's probably seen that his teammate Gilles Villeneuve has gone off in the biggest possible way. And now John Watson has got ahead of Riccardo Patrese and is up to 9th position. So, number 28, Pironi, is 7th. Nigel Mansell in the black and gold Lotus is 8th. John Watson, the British Grand Prix winner, number 7 in the Marlboro MP4, is in 9th position, and right behind him in 10th place, Riccardo Patrese, as they complete lap 17 shortly. In fact, they have completed it. In front of them all the time, let us not forget, there are the two flying turbocharged Renaults of Alain Prost and René Arnoux, followed in 3rd position by Jacques Lafitte still. In 4th place, it is Nelson Piquet. In 5th position, it's Alan Jones. In 6th position, it's Carlos Reutemann, and this is the battle for 7th. There is the 8th place man, Nigel Mansell. Up to the run down to the Bosch curve, and it's coming out of the Bosch curve, and John Watson's going through and taking Mansell, or is he, as they go into the Bosch curve? No, he's not. Mansell still holds that 8th place.
Yes, unfortunately, he got a good toe up, but he got himself on the wrong side of Mansell, ready to overtake, because although he was inside for that little kink, when they get to the real corner, it's a right-hander, and Watson was stuck on the outside, and that is not the way to overtake, particularly for a driver of Watson's experience. Mansell's having... Yes, Mansell's done it. Same place as the beat, that's where Pironi's weakness is, because it's followed by another corner. And let's just see if Watson can follow through. No, he hasn't. And in fact, Watson is now under pressure from Patrese.
And I hope our Austrian producer is keeping a very careful eye on this race, because up front, ahead of this terrific scrap, as Mansell pulls away from Pironi, Watson and Patrese, the gap between the two turbocharged Renaults of Alain Prost in the lead on lap 18 and René Arnoux and Jacques Lafitte is down to under 11 seconds.
Kohlefaser-Glasfibermischung hergestellt worden ist, also aus dem gleichen Material, aus dem Weltraumraketen gefertigt werden, ohne Metall. Ein Wunderauto, dieser MP4, und es hat ja große Diskussionen gegeben, weil Niki Lauda im April in England war, in der McLaren-Werkstatt, um dieses Auto zu sehen.
Ich habe heute mit Gordon Murray gesprochen, dem Konstrukteur, der den Brabham erzeugt. Und der sagt auch, dass dieser McLaren sicher von seiner Technik und seiner einfachen Art, wie er gebaut wurde, ein Spitzenauto ist.
Da haben wir den Boxenstopp von Patrick Tambay. Franzose ist im Training nicht sehr erfolgreich gewesen, 17. nur, hat große Schwierigkeiten gehabt, ist heute früh liegen geblieben während des Aufwärmtrainings wegen Zündungsschadens, ist in Österreich schon 3-mal gefahren und 3-mal ausgeschieden, fährt heute seinen 45. Grand Prix, und Patrick Tambay hat ja auch, seit er ins Ligier-Team übergetreten ist, nachdem er zuvor den Theodore gefahren hat, noch keinen Grand Prix beendet, Halbachsenbruch, Kupplungsschaden und dann noch einmal defekt. Aber jetzt wird der Rückstand vom Lafitte auf die führenden Renault Turbos, wie angekündigt, immer kleiner. 11,96 nur noch zwischen dem führenden Prost und dem an dritter Stelle liegenden Lafitte. Arnoux hat einen Rückstand von 7 Zehntel auf Prost, also Prost führt nach 19 Runden, dann zweiter Arnoux minus 0,75, dritter Lafitte minus 11,9, vierter Piquet minus 13,2, fünfter Jones minus 17,3 und zurückgefallen sechster Reutemann minus 21,7, siebenter Mansell weitere 20 Sekunden zurück, 41 Sekunden hinter dem führenden Prost, und dahinter Pironi, Patrese, der Watson überholt hat, De Angelis, Salazar, Giacomelli, Alboreto, De Cesaris, Borgut, Javier und Stor. 19. Andretti, Rückstand eine Runde, und dann Tambay, Rebacke und Daly.
Ich bin der Überzeugung, dass die Renaults jetzt wirklich langsam fahren. Man sieht das auch, dass Arnoux nicht aufgeschlossen auf Prost fährt und der Rückstand, den Lafitte jetzt scheint gut zu machen, nur deswegen ist, weil sie ein paar Runden langsamer gefahren sind. Ich glaube, dass sie das Tempo voll kontrollieren können und wenn es sein muss, den Vorsprung wieder erhöhen. Aber 10 Sekunden ist ein guter Vorsprung.
Lafitte hat mit jeder Runde nahezu eine Sekunde auf die führenden Renault Turbos gut gemacht.
Piquet hat etwas den Anschluss an Lafitte verloren.
Das war der Kampf Giacomelli, Alboreto und De Cesaris um die Plätze 13, 14 und 15.
On the infield, you saw the shattered remains of Gilles Villeneuve's Ferrari, who went off on the Bosch curve, smashed his Ferrari to pieces on lap 13, stepped out of the car, typically absolutely unperturbed, walked away, but there is only one Ferrari left in the race, that of Didier Pironi, who is in 8th position. You can see that there's less than a second between them because Prost is just driving round, not challenging his teammate Arnoux at all, and the same applies between René Arnoux, who is in 2nd place, and Alain Prost, the race leader. But all the time, Jacques Lafitte, who is driving superbly on what is probably the best handling car on the circuit, is whittling away at the lead of the two Renaults. There, number 28, Didier Pironi, with behind him John Watson, Riccardo Patrese, up to the Jochen Rindt curve, and Elio De Angelis. And Pironi, number 28, is in 8th position. So, Pironi 8th, Watson behind him in 9th place. 10th is Riccardo Patrese, 11th is Elio De Angelis, but number 12, Nigel Mansell, John Player Special, 7th position. Or will be soon, of lap 21. Across the line goes Pironi, number 28 in that 8th position. And he pulls away on sheer power as they go up to the Hellelic curve. In 9th place, John Watson. 10th position, number 29, Riccardo Patrese in the Arrows. And in 11th position, Elio De Angelis. Those four absolutely together. Nigel Mansell is pulling away from Pironi, the Frenchman in the Italian Ferrari. He's on lap 21 in this 53-lap race, so there's still a long, long way to go. And the point of vital interest at the front is Jacques Lafitte continuing to whittle down the lead of Alain Prost and René Arnoux, who've now got about 6 car lengths between them as they go through and complete lap 21. Out of the Jochen Rindt curve comes Jacques Lafitte, and down comes the gap again. The gap is down to 9.4 seconds on lap 22 out of 53. So Jacques Lafitte is inexorably gaining, and John Watson is inexorably trying to get past Didier Pironi in 8th position.
I'm surprised that what he hasn't learned from Mansell's manoeuvre and isn't trying to emulate that. Because Patrese having a little stab at Watson there. Because those two left-hand curves are definitely the place. That's the weakness. That's where everybody who's managed to get past Pironi so far has done it. All started by Lafitte. But Watson, I would have thought, has been just about close enough to have a stab. But maybe he feels he's not quite close enough. Maybe his car's not turning into the corner easily enough to do it, because it does depend.
Behind Pironi, John Watson, who is 9th. Behind Watson is Patrese, who is 10th. And then Elio De Angelis, and down comes the gap again, because Jacques Lafitte is cutting down the gap between himself and the Renaults by about 1 second a lap. This is the battle for 8th. There's Elio De Angelis in the Leaping Lotus on its very rigid suspension. And again, now Patrese is having a go at Watson and failing. Nigel Mansell goes through in 7th position, out of the Jochen Rindt curve on lap 23, almost at the end of it. Pironi 7th, Watson 8th, Patrese, number 29, in 9th position, and Elio De Angelis just coming into the picture as they go up the hill in 11th position, into the Hellelicht curve. Pironi, Watson, Patrese, De Angelis. And behind De Angelis, incidentally, is no less a man than Eliseo Salazar. Salazar, the Chilean in the ensign, is in an incredible 12th position. He finished quite well down in practicing because he was on suitable tyres, and he said before the race began that being on harder tyres in the race, as would everybody else be, he was expecting to be much better up, and sounded very confident, and indeed he had every reason to be. Pironi, Watson, Patrese, De Angelis. Now, Jacques Lafitte has gone through. The gap between Lafitte and Piquet is only 3.4 seconds. The producer is sensibly staying with this battle between Didier Pironi and the men behind him, including John Watson, who tries again for 8th position.
It must be very frustrating for John Watson because after a rather poor practice effort, when the mechanics weren't able to get their car absolutely right, they weren't totally happy with it, they switched to a different tyre this morning, and the car went really very well indeed in the warm-up, and so Watson must have been hoping for greater things. Patrese, of course, is battling away, and this could be a problem for John Watson. It makes it more difficult, of course, for him to pass Pironi, because he's got to watch his back, because Patrese is climbing all over his exhaust pipe, looking for the slightest slip, and of course in every situation you speculate to accumulate, and any sort of overtaking manoeuvre, if it doesn't come off, of course, is allowed to slow one down, and Watson can't afford to have Patrese nip by him and put him in the driving seat as far as attacking Pironi is concerned. It's essential to Watson that he keeps that place there, so if anybody's going to get past, it's him, and he's the first one.
Well, I say watch these by all means, but watch also the man behind them, because Eliseo Salazar, somebody's gone off there with presumably a puncture, but Eliseo Salazar is catching up all the time, and the gap now, we must get back to the leaders soon, because the gap now, and it's Mansell. Oh, what tragic luck. Nigel Mansell in the John Thayer Special Lotus, number 12, starts to get out of the cockpit. Watson is through. Watson is through ahead of Pironi, and the gap now between Jacques Lafitte in 3rd position and the two leading turbocharged Renaults is less than 7 seconds. And we're back with Lafitte on lap 25. Lafitte is driving an incredible race. He's got a superbly handling car. The 12-cylinder Matra engine, which is propelling his Talbot as he comes down to the 180-mile-an-hour left-hander before the Bosch curve. The Talbot is handling magnificently. Jacques Lafitte, very much the team boss, now that Gerard Ducarouge, the previous Talbot team manager, has left them. Jacques Lafitte is in effect number 1 driver and team manager, and he seems to be making a very good job of both those functions, because he's on his own in 3rd position, and there are the leaders. Alain Prost closing up on a tail-ender over the crest, and the tail-ender is Michele Alboreto in the Tyrrell, who, unlike his team leader, Eddie Cheever, qualified. Eddie Cheever failed to qualify either the new or the Tyrrell in practicing. He had all sorts of problems, and there is Lafitte. Now it's definitely getting to be very exciting indeed on lap 26 out of 53. Jacques Lafitte is closing up on the two Renaults in front of him. You've just seen the Renaults go through the Hellelicht curve. Here is Jacques Lafitte in 3rd position. Behind him in 4th place, about 3 or 4 seconds behind him, is Nelson Piquet. The two Renaults have got ahead of Alboreto, number 4. That's him. Here is the 3rd man, Jacques Lafitte. He's on lap 26. And he's gaining.
Well, Jacques Lafitte has got the two Renaults well and truly in sight, but of course, when he does catch up with them, he's confronted again by the same problem of getting past these wretched turbocharged cars. I say wretched from the normally aspirated car driver's point of view, not of course from their own driver's point of view. It's very nice to have a power advantage under your right foot, but we'll see if Lafitte can wind himself up. He's got to produce the same sort of form that took him past Peroni twice in order to do these Renaults, and that's going to be no mean feat.
And I'll give you the gap between the Renaults and Lafitte, although it's coming down to visual distance on lap 26. Those were the positions you saw on the caption, and now we're waiting to see who comes bursting over the skyline, and it's Nelson Piquet in 4th position with a clear track in front of him and a pretty clear track behind him. I'm waiting for the Renaults. There goes Prost past me, there goes Arnoux past me, and Lafitte is bearing down on Michele Alboreto as we watch Nelson Piquet in 4th position, and off goes Prost. Lap 27 out of 53, and it's happened. The tyre has gone, and Alain Prost is out of the race, and behind him, the gap between René Arnoux and Jacques Lafitte is only 5 seconds. We now have not 3 Frenchmen, 1st, 2nd and 3rd, but 2 Frenchmen in 2 different cars, 1st and 2nd. On lap 27 out of 53 then, René Arnoux has moved into the lead, and Jacques Lafitte is in 2nd place.
It looks like some sort of mechanical failure, I think, Murray. The tyres seem to be all inflated, but that's a great shame. But of course, the hot weather, the turbocharged cars have proved to struggle a bit for reliability when the conditions are very hot. And of course, it's impossible for us from sitting up here to say exactly what's wrong, but it does appear that some sort of mechanical failure, because he just pulled quietly off the track and parked it.
For Jacques Lafitte. Erster Arnoux, zweiter Lafitte, dritter Piquet, vierter Jones, fünfter Reutemann, sechster und bereits in den Punkterängen Watson, siebenter Pironi, achter De Angelis, neunter Patrese, zehnter Salazar, elfter De Cesaris, zwölfter Giacomelli, 13. Porto, 14. bereits überrundet Alboreto, dann Charrier, Stohr, Andretti, Rebacke und dann Tambay, Daly, ausgeschieden, Villeneuve, Menzel und Surer. Jetzt ist es psychologisch sehr wichtig, dass Lafitte den Führenden in Sichtweite hat, denn nichts ermutigt einen Fahrer ja mehr, als wenn er das führende Auto immer näher kommen sieht. Andererseits ist es für den Ersten immer deprimierender, wenn er sieht, wie der andere immer größer in seinem Rückspiegel auftaucht.
Das ist richtig, Heinz. Wichtig ist es am Österreicher ganz besonders, weil er den Windschatten ausnutzen kann, um sich so relativ leicht an den Führenden heranzusaugen.
Ungefähr 200 bis 250 Meter wirkt dieser Windschatten, aber das ist die Zeitlupenwiederholung des Ausfalls.
And he obviously knew his race had been run because there was no argument. Undone came the seat belts, and out of the car stepped Alain Prost. Meantime, the race leader, René Arnoux, knowing of course that it's all up to him. This is a reversal of what happened to Prost last year, because in 1980 the battle up at the front, well, it wasn't really a battle, it was a racing demonstration between René Arnoux and his then teammate Jean-Pierre Jabouille. And René Arnoux had no less than 4 tyre stops, whereas Jean-Pierre Jabouille drove home brilliantly, conserved his tyres right to the end of the race and beat Alan Jones by just about a second. Nigel Mansell walking in, understandably looking very hot, but surprisingly looking comparatively cheerful, as in the background goes Patrick Tambay chasing Mario Andretti well down the field. And now the gap between René Arnoux and Jacques Lafitte, with 28 laps completed, as we look at Andretti and Tambay, who are well lapped. They've both been lapped, but the gap between René Arnoux and Jacques Lafitte is only 3.5 seconds on lap 29. So it is René Arnoux, Renault, leading Jacques Lafitte in the Tour. But in 3rd position is Nelson Piquet, making no difference between the gap between himself and Jacques Lafitte. Then in 4th position it's Alan Jones, the world champion. 5th is Carlos Reutemann. And there is the gap between Arnoux and Lafitte, 3.74 seconds. Is Jacques Lafitte here going into the Bosch curve. Frenchman in French Renault leads Frenchman in French Talbot in second position. John Watson has been lapped. Out of the pits goes Patrick Tambay. No, John Watson has not been lapped, my apologies. There's a considerable gap, though, between Carlos Reutemann and John Watson, and it would look that Watson has got little chance of catching. Now,
Pironi's got an even bigger queue behind us. Somebody just pulled off the circuit then. It was Siegfried Sturm. Doing his own mechanical work by the look of things, diving under the cars and then an extinguisher there to deal with any action. It all looks a bit smoky. It's very nasty, but it does appear to be steam. I don't think that was smoke, or not as far as I could see.
Well, here is the Ferrari Crocodile again, and this time it is Didier Pironi, number 28, in 7th position, staving off the frenzied attentions of the 8th place man, Riccardo Patrese, in the Arrows, who it is rumoured has got half the teams in Formula One trying to get him to drive for them in 1982. And there's Derek Daly well up in the march, but he's been lapped. Derek Daly then, but the battle is between number 28, Pironi in 7th place, Patrese, who is in 8th position, De Angelis, number 11 in the Lotus, who is therefore in 9th place, and they cross the line to complete another lap, indeed to complete their 29th lap, so they're on lap 30, as are the leaders in this 23-lap race, and Pironi's keeping the Ferrari going. Siegfried Sturm, 53 laps this race, which was originally to be 54 laps, was mysteriously shortened, I suspect, because if it had run 54 laps, it would have been slightly over the mandatory 2-hour period, which is the maximum that any Formula One Grand Prix is allowed to last. And De Angelis is challenging Riccardo Patrese, and Alessio Salazar is trying to pass Derek Daly, who will have nothing of it. But Salazar, number 14, is now in 10th position, and he's right up with Elio De Angelis, Riccardo Patrese and Didier Pironi. Now, can he get past Derek Daly? Not if the Irishman's got anything to do with it, he can't. Let's see. Down to the Texaco bend. There's Patrese in the Ragno Arrows in 8th position. Ahead of him, Pironi. Behind him, De Angelis. There's Daly, who has been lapped. And a frenzied Chilean, Alessio Salazar, trying to get past Daly in order to get to grips with the battle for 8th position between Didier Pironi. Battle for 7th position between Didier Pironi and his followers. And up at the front as they cross the line, now is Salazar going to be able to close up on Daly. And Daly won't realise, of course, that he has been lapped. Yes, of course he will. Yes, of course he will. And the race order on lap 31, as we look at Hector Ribach, who is well down the running, who has been into the pits and has been lapped several times. The race order is René Arnoux, now leading with the defection of his teammate. There is Arnoux and there is Lafitte. That's how close it is. It's certainly less than the 3.5 seconds that it was when we last checked. So Arnoux leading Lafitte. In 3rd position, Piquet. In 4th position, Jones. In 5th position, Reutemann. In 6th position, Watson. And then the battle for 7th place, which currently is held by Didier Pironi, with behind him Patrese, Elio De Angelis and Alessio Salazar. There's Arnoux. Now, Lafitte has got to get past Slim Borgud, the Swedish driver in the ATS, the transformed ATS, thanks to the attentions of team manager Alistair Caldwell. And Lafitte nearly lost it there. His front slipped away, but he recovered it masterfully. He's really, I would say, on 10/10 or maybe even 10.5.
Yes, he's certainly driving very aggressively and really having a go at the feet, but he just got a little bit wide. The trouble with that corner, particularly as the race progresses, you get a lot of rubber dust off the tyres and general dirt all gets swept off the line. The line is clean with lots of grip. You get a little bit offline and it gets mighty slippery out there. And the feet just went a little bit wide. You know, one wants to try and go as wide as possible into that corner to attack it. But if you just step out of what we call the groove, then of course you can be in a lot of trouble because it's got nothing like as much grip out there. Anyway, no harm done. The feet is back on full song and attacking hard. He's got the back markers to deal with before he can attack the Renault, or has he? No, I think he's clear of back markers and he's right up behind. He's going to be, in fact, he's going to be with Arnoux within the next lap or so, and he can start working out his problem of how to deal with him.
Okay. Arnoux ist an Rebacke vorbei. Arnoux, Rebacke und Lafitte.
Hoffentlich sieht Rebacke Lafitte. Früher nie auf dem Rückspiegel geschaut, der Mexikaner, hoffentlich macht das heute.
Ich kann mich erinnern, hat hier einmal, ich glaube vor 3 Jahren, den Grand Prix von Österreich entschieden. Hat Jody Scheckter damals von der Piste abgedrängt.
Richtig. Und Lafitte ist vorbei.
Nur noch wenige Wagenlängen zwischen Arnoux und Lafitte.
Jetzt ist er voll im Windschatten des Renault und er kann die Höchstgeschwindigkeit des Renaults so ausnutzen, dass er voll mitgezogen wird und jetzt dran bleibt. Jetzt wollen wir da genau aufpassen, wo Lafitte schneller ist. Ich glaube in den Kurven.
Achtung, 76 Hundertstel, also nur noch eine Dreiviertelsekunde zwischen dem führenden Renault Turbo und dem zweitplatzierten Ligier Talbot Matra 12-Zylinder. Es kann nicht mehr lange dauern und Lafitte ist am führenden René Arnoux vorbei.
Das ist ein irrsinnig wichtiger Kampf für Frankreich, glaube ich, weil hier das Privatunternehmen Ligier, wenn man so will, gegen den Staatsbetrieb Renault kämpft und Lafitte sicher alles hineinhauen wird, um versuchen, um Arnoux vorbeizukommen. Aber die Renault Höchstgeschwindigkeit scheint mir noch immer gut zu sein, aber in der Kurve ist er langsamer. Man sieht, wie Lafitte in der Kurve immer wieder aufschließt und auf der Geraden in der Renault davon zieht.
Interessant wird es natürlich sein, wenn diese beiden Fahrer, Arnoux und Lafitte, auf die Gruppe mit Pironi, De Angelis, Patrese und Salazar auflaufen werden. Denn diese Vierergruppe liegt auf der Straße ja nur noch 10 Sekunden vor dem führenden Arnoux, tatsächlich aber nahezu eine Runde zurück. Von der Rennleitung kommt eine Meldung über den Ausfall von Alain Prost, Probleme mit der Lenkung. Grund für den Ausfall von Stohr ist ein Motorschaden.
Lafitte ist echt...
This is lap 34. Into the Jochen Ring curve. This is 145 miles an hour in 4th gear. Change up into 5th gear. Across the line they go. And is Lafitte going to make his challenge against Arnoux as they go up the hill and into the Hellenic curve? No.
So it's going to be the same old problem with the turbocharged cars with their extra power. You could see it then. The Lafitte was quicker, much quicker around the corner. He got alongside him coming out of the corner. And then as soon as Arnoux got his foot on the loud pedal, off he went down the straight, opened up the big gap. There he goes again. The Lafitte got right up behind him again at the chicane. Arnoux pulling that huge lead. It really is a big power advantage required to pull a lead like that. There must be a good 50-60 horsepower minimum, possibly more, I would think, as an advantage in order to make that tremendous performance down the straight. Anyway, we've seen Lafitte do it once today. He's got a back marker in the middle there. We'll have to deal with that now, very kindly and politely. Oh, Lafitte's on the slippery stuff again. Oh dear. Well, he kept it together, but it's very unpleasant out there. If you get off out of that groove, you can see the groove with the black rubber, which is the line that all the cars follow, and off that, it's all fraught with all sorts of risks and frightening things to happen to you.
Well, the interesting thing was that the man they passed was Austrian in the second Marlborough MP4, John Watson's teammate. And De Cesaris created some sort of a record in practice by going off for the 17th time this year and severely damaging his motor car. And he promised his mechanics, after they had to do 120 man-hours of work on the car between the end of practice and the start of racing today, that he would bring the car home in one piece. And he's been lapped. Arnoux leads, lap 36 they are on. Jacques Lafitte second. Behind them in third place is Nelson Piquet. Fourth is Alan Jones, and fifth Carlos Reutemann. Sixth is John Watson, and seventh is Didier Pironi, who is still ahead of the eighth place man Elio De Angelis. And again René Arnoux pulls away at the Glatz curve. Now it's fourth gear up into fifth, uphill towards the highest point of the course. Underneath the banner, now the plunge down to the Bosch curve, the left-hander where they're doing 180 miles an hour, precedes the Bosch curve. Then the sweeping right part where, as James pointed out, Jacques Lafitte got out onto the marbles on the previous lap, but not this lap. He's got a clear circuit in front of him. And this is where Jacques Lafitte starts to close up on Arnoux. The Talbot handles much better than the Renault on left-handers, and is better on braking. Look at that.
Yes, you'd expect the normally aspirated cars to be quicker on handling through those two left-handers, but the Lafitte's car seems to be exceptionally quick. He pulls a huge amount there. It's very often at this track that you get a situation where the cars don't quite get a good balance, or rather the same balance in left and right-hand corners, and you do sometimes find that your car is better in one than the other. And I would think that Lafitte is probably well pleased with the way his car's going around the left-handers. It doesn't look as if he's going to be all that disappointed with the way it's going around the right-handers either. But, of course, one problem that Lafitte has got, which he'll be bearing in mind, is that with the Renault holding him up in front as he tries to find a way around Arnoux, Piquet will be slowly, gently closing the gap that Jacques Lafitte worked so hard to create after he managed to get away from that bunch first. And of course that's all very frustrating when your hard work is undone. Look at that gap, how it extends. It's quite staggering, the power of these turbocharged cars compared with the normally aspirated ones.
And there's a very aspirated one. It is Bruno Giacomelli's car. We had a firework display here last night at the end of practice. Bruno Giacomelli is certainly rivaling that, because it looks to me as though the disc brakes at the back of his car have set fire to the fiberglass bodywork. Well, it doesn't look as though it has. It has, most definitely. Out come the fire extinguishers, and a great pall of smoke surrounds the car. Giacomelli out of it as though he got a spring up his backside. He fairly shot out of the car, and meantime the battle for the lead continues on lap 37, and again Lafitte closes right up with René Arnoux, as he has done on each of the previous laps, and he seems to me to be psyching himself. He's getting closer and closer on aggregate through each lap. He makes his challenge coming out of the Texaco bend. It's just possible that if he can come out of the Bosch curve really close up behind René Arnoux, as he is doing this time, he'll be able to take him as they come up the hill to the Hella Leaks curve. But Arnoux got a big power advantage here. Did you see Lafitte just momentarily lift his hand off the steering wheel and give a curt signal to his pits, as though to say all is well? Not that I think they needed any signal. They can see things are going pretty well for Jacques Lafitte on lap 38. Behind them, Nelson Piquet still in third position and covered with fire extinguisher foam. A very second-hand, but not for sale, Alfa Romeo of Bruno Giacomelli, with the Italian perplexedly looking at things. And there's Ermanno Quoghi, the famous Alfa Romeo mechanic, ex-Lauda mechanic, the bald-headed chap who had a Kojak haircut last year but is allowed to grow it this. And René Arnoux leads Jacques Lafitte, lap 38. 53-lap race, Bosch curve.
Lafitte's done that corner very well. He's very close now. I would think he's going to have a go into the left-hander now. Let's hope we get a switch. Yes, then he's trying. René Arnoux staved it off just, but of course the trouble with that now, the beat's now, as it were, played his hand, and of course Arnoux will be ready to expect that every lap, which makes it, of course, that much more difficult for Jacques Lafitte, because he'll have Arnoux will be able to take the appropriate sort of action to try and prevent a move like that. That of course is the problem. If you're going to try a manoeuvre like that, he did it so brilliantly to Pironi, partly because he caught him napping. I don't think Pironi was expecting it to come, which definitely helped the manoeuvre. There they go. He's got no chance here. You see up the hill with the power of the turbo just taking him away. Plenty of room on the braking area for the chicane. A frustrated defeat, although Piquet isn't catching up very fast at the moment. We'll get a gap on that moment, see what progress he's making. He's still 10 seconds behind and doesn't seem to be making a great deal of progress, so I think Piquet's struggling a bit.
And so, quite apart from the gripping interest of this battle for the lead, the question is, can Piquet stave off Alan Jones and Carlos Reutemann? Because this race is absolutely critical, and Salazar has got ahead of Derek Daly and cleared the circuit, but now Derek Daly retakes that place as they go into the Bosch curve. And as you can see, now this is going to be very interesting indeed, because René Arnoux and Jacques Lafitte are closing up on the battle, which is being led by Didier Pironi. And Pironi, at the present moment, number 28, the Ferrari driver, no, he's slipped down the field, because ahead of him, as Jacques Lafitte is through, brilliant! Jacques Lafitte takes René Arnoux and the lead, and Jacques Lafitte on lap 39 in this 53-lap race. We have another new leader. First of all, it was Alain Prost. Then it was René Arnoux when Alain Prost went out with presumably a blown engine on lap 27. Then Jacques Lafitte, as we have seen, harried, first of all closed up on, and then harried René Arnoux every inch of the way, and now he is through into the lead on lap 39 out of 53 and carving his way through the tail enders. But he's still got a problem. He's got past Eliseo Salazar. He's now closing up on Derek Daly, who is actually a lap behind everybody, and ahead of that lot is Didier Pironi, and again now Arnoux comes up to try close up right behind Jacques Lafitte.
Yes, it's most unfortunate for Jacques that he's got back marks in front of him, because Arnoux didn't get round that corner very well, unfortunately. Here we're going to see a replay of the overtaking manoeuvre. Lafitte doing the same trick that he did to Didier Pironi earlier in the race, nipping through on the inside right at the last minute. There's Arnoux, a little bit of a surprise, little switch there as he tucked in behind. But Lafitte seems to be handling things all right at the moment, and he's passed. I think he's clear of the bunch now, which puts the advantage right back into his court, because Arnoux still has to get past the back markers, although of course with the turbocharged engine this isn't so much of a problem for him as it would have potentially been for Lafitte.
Nach 40 Runden und einer Gesamtfahrzeit von 1 Stunde und 4 Minuten führt also Lafitte mit im Augenblick 8 Zehntel vor Arnoux, 9 Sekunden vor Piquet, 15 vor Jones, 23 vor Reutemann und 66 vor Watson.
Wichtig wäre jetzt natürlich, wenn Piquet bis zum Schluss des Rennens noch Arnoux überholen könnte, um mehr Punkte zu machen wie Jones und Reutemann.
Niki, man hört es immer wieder, dein Herz ist ziemlich deutlich bei Piquet und deinem früheren Team bleiben.
Ja, ich glaube, dass Nelson jetzt einfach die besseren Chancen hat in der Weltmeisterschaft, weil er ein Team hat, was ihn voll unterstützt, und er vielleicht jetzt für diese letzten Rennen sehr gut gewappnet ist. Dadurch, dass er schon sehr viele Fehler heuer gemacht hat, wird er jetzt sicher keine mehr machen, und Reutemann sicher nicht so eine gute kombinierte Mannschaft um sich hat wie bei Brabham für Piquet.
Reutemann hat mit sehr vielen Journalisten, darunter auch mit mir, schon hohe Wetten abgeschlossen, dass er in keinem Rennen 1981 mehr unter die ersten 2 kommen wird. Das ist ganz komisch, dass sich ein Fahrer also dermaßen abbaut, statt aufbaut. Oder ist das ein besonderer psychologischer Trick? Du bist mit Reutemann zusammen bei Ferrari gefahren.
Ich finde, es ist blöd, weil es ist viel gescheiter, man sagt, ich gewinne heute und setzt alles dran, um es wirklich zu tun, wie von vornherein zu sagen, es geht eh nichts.
Man sieht das immer wieder in Silverstone, wenn die Fahrer beim englischen Grand Prix oder auch im Bremshesch, wenn sie auf den eigenen Sieg sehr, sehr viel Geld setzen.
Am besten ist gar nichts zu sagen und voll zu fahren. So wichtig ist jetzt für Lafitte, nicht zu schnell zu fahren, das Auto nach Hause zu tragen, damit er den Grand Prix auch sicher gewinnt. Das ist jetzt die schwierigste Phase für den Fahrer, die letzten Runden, die letzten 10 oder 12 Runden, wie lange es noch geht, 13 Runden. Weil da hofft man jetzt, dass das Auto halt hält und nichts kaputt wird. Lafitte fährt schon relativ langsam, man sieht, dass er die Linie nicht mehr so scharf ausfährt wie vorher. Und jetzt nur zügig vorn wegfährt, er hat 2,5 Sekunden Vorsprung.
2,54 genau, dann dahinter Piquet 8,74.
Lafitte is now 2.7 seconds, and there's the gap between Lafitte and Piquet, 8.75 seconds, Piquet being in third position. So that means to say that Piquet is gaining a bit on René Arnoux, who is dropping back all the time. There is Lafitte, lap 42. And there is De Cesaris, about to be lapped by Alan Jones, who is in fourth place, behind Nelson Piquet and ahead of his teammate Carlos Reutemann, on his way to 3 World Championship points. If he can get past ex-kart champion of Italy, Europe and the world, Andrea De Cesaris, and he's done it. That's where Mario Andretti went off in the wet 2 years ago. And now look at the suspension, or lack of it, on the Williams. 1-inch suspension movement, and no wonder Alan Jones says that it is absolute hell to drive a Formula One World Championship car under today's racing situations, where there is this farcical state of affairs where everybody knows that the cars are illegal as soon as they leave the pit lane because they do not have the necessary ground clearance they are supposed to have, but no one seems to be prepared to do anything about it. Michele Alboreto in the Tyrrell, into the pit, through the fire extinguisher powder of Giacomelli's car. Across the line goes Jacques Lafitte. The gap between Lafitte and Arnoux is 2 seconds exactly, as we look at Andrea De Cesaris, who is actually in 10th position. Lap 43 then, 53 lap race, and that makes 195.7 miles. No question, of course, of the lap record having been challenged, because the lap record last year was put up by René Arnoux in a skirted Renault. Something flies up from underneath the Angelus's wheels as Jacques Lafitte goes through and passes Jean-Pierre Jarier, the Frenchman, who had a really big happening in practice when his warm-up period this morning, when his Osella engine blew. But nevertheless, Charrier's got a lot to be proud about, because he qualified in 14th place, which is much higher than any Osella has ever been in the past. And we're looking at René Arnoux, second place, lap 43, Jacques Lafitte ahead of him, Nelson Piquet behind him and not really gaining, Alan Jones still fourth and Reutemann fifth. There's Derek Ongaro, the man who starts the races, with Bernie Ecclestone, the czar of Formula One, striding away down the pit lane. All is well. And Arnoux goes into the Jochen-Rindt curve. That's what the drivers can see as they go across the line. And Lafitte sees it now. Arnoux sees it. 2.45 seconds is the gap. And Nelson Piquet is doing nothing about the gap between himself and Jacques Lafitte, who is now chasing and about to lap, methinks, Riccardo Patrese, who is in 8th position. Lafitte then lapping everybody up to 8th at the present moment. And in front of Riccardo Patrese, the 7th place man is Elio De Angelis. Then in 6th place, John Watson. 5th, Reutemann. 4th, Jones. 3rd, Piquet. 2nd, Arnoux. And there's the leader, Jacques Lafitte. Taking, or is he? Yes. Quick prod of one of the pedals, I'm not quite sure which, but he goes through on the Bosch curve to take the 8th place man, and he's now closing up on 7th position man in the John Player Special Lotus, that is to say Elio De Angelis, the Roman.
Sich der Italiener Riccardo Patrese nächstes Jahr möglicherweise die Nummer 2 im Team von Prix BMW nach oder neben dem Brasilianer Nelson Piquet.
Also es geht nur mehr 9 Runden. Ich glaube nicht, dass Piquet noch Anu einholen wird. Wie würde die Weltmeisterschaft ausschauen, wenn sie jetzt so zu Ende gefahren wird?
Naja, auf alle Fälle behält Carlos Reutemann die Führung in der Weltmeisterschaft, wenn ein anderer Sieger sein wird als Nelson Piquet. Aber Lafitte, der an 3. Stelle der Weltmeisterschaft ist, würde weiter aufholen. Lafitte hätte dann bereits 34 Punkte. Achtung, nächster Boxenstopp, Riccardo Patrese, der italienische Aeros-Fahrer, liegt an 8. Stelle. Patrese war Trainingsschnellste in Long Beach beim Saisonauftakt, hat dort auch geführt 30 Runden lang, bis er wegen eines elektrischen Defekts ausscheiden musste. War Dritter im Regenrennen von Rio. Zweiter in Imola, seither aber keine Punkte mehr, nur Ausfälle, einmal 14. noch in Dijon. Nicht mehr im Rennen ist Hector Rebacke, der zweite Prepem-Fahrer wegen Zündungsdefekts. Naja, Renault hat also heute nicht das Glück auf dem Österreichring wie voriges Jahr. Damals gab es das dramatische Finish zwischen Jean-Pierre Jabouille und zwischen Alan Jones. Alan Jones hat etwas zu spät angegriffen. Jabouille war in großen Schwierigkeiten, hatte einen Reifenschaden und hat sich gerade noch mit, ich glaube, 17 Vorsprung als Sieger über die Ziellinie gerettet. Rennschnitt 215 Kilometer pro Stunde. Bis jetzt schnellste Runde unverändert Lafitte in der 28. Runde mit 1,37,97, also etwa 5,5 Sekunden langsamer als der offizielle Rundenrekord, der immer nur im Rennen gefahren wird. Lafitte ist natürlich jetzt langsamer geworden, darum bleibt der Vorsprung auf Anu bei 2,44, Piquet 11 Sekunden zurück, Jones 16, Reutemann 26, Watson 67. Die Williams sind zuverlässig geblieben, aber offenbar nicht mehr schnell genug. Eliseo Salazar, der Chilene mit dem Engsein, fuhr bis jetzt sehr gut und lag an 9. Stelle, so gut wie noch nie in einem Grand Prix.
Jacques Lafitte Talbot leading on lap 46 in this 53-lap race. We'll soon see. There is Lafitte and there is Arnoux taking De Angelis. It looks to me visually as though Arnoux is certainly closer to Lafitte than he was on the previous lap. Into the Bosch curve. Arnoux in second place. He has lapped De Angelis, number 11, who is 7th. Where is Jacques Lafitte? The answer is going into the first left-hander of the Texaco curves, and this is where Lafitte was so much faster than Arnoux previously and actually caught him and passed him. Arnoux pulling away from De Angelis, lap 46. Jacques Lafitte the leader. René Arnoux that we're looking at is in second place. Piquet still third. Jones still fourth. Reutemann still fifth. And John Watson still sixth. Now this is going to be the testing time when we can check by ear and on the stopwatch as Lafitte goes across the line. Here he is. Well, it's 1.9 seconds there.
Strange that, because his engine sounded all right to me as he went past. I had a good careful listen then, and yet the gap has definitely come down again. And in fact, look at that. I mean, Arnoux is visibly closer. So, I don't know, maybe the Lafitte was just taking a breather, or maybe he had a bit of a fuel pickup problem or something that's cured itself. I don't know. All seems rather strange, but I suppose we just have to wait and see how it develops before we can surmise any further.
Well, let the eye be the judge. This is lap 47. The stopwatch can give us a check as well. Nelson Piquet there in third position. We haven't seen him for a long time. He's driving steadily on. And it's Lafitte on lap 47, leading the yellow and white Renault of number 16, 33-year-old. And John Watson has gone past, sounding very rough indeed. He's in, at least his Marlborough sounds very rough indeed, in 6th position as we watch René Arnoux. Now, where is Lafitte in comparison? There he is over the hill. Well, Arnoux is certainly not gaining on him. This is going to be the end of lap 47, and I'm going to take a check not only on... There goes Lafitte through. In fact, he's increasing his lead in 3.7 seconds now, Jacques Lafitte. If anybody's holding back, it's René Arnoux. There he is. Well, maybe Lafitte has backed off a bit, and there, spinning off goes Riccardo Patrese, who had come into the pits. And do you remember Siegfried Sturr was mystifiedly looking at the steam pouring out of the back of his engine in his arrows, and now Riccardo Patrese isn't even bothering to do that. He walks disgustedly away from the car, and that's Salazar, the Chilean, out of the race. And at the time he went out, he was very well up. Indeed, he was in 9th position. A great drive. Yes, shrugs his shoulders. Well, that's motor racing, he seems to be saying. He's being told to keep close into the Armco barrier as he walks into the pits. His race is run, and Riccardo Patrese's race is run too. John Watson sounds as though he hasn't got very far to go, because his engine is sounding rougher and rougher, lap by lap. And so, out of this Austrian Grand Prix have gone Gilles Villeneuve in the lead, Alain Prost in the lead. Jacques Lafitte moved up into the lead on lap 39 by passing René Arnoux. Patrese's gone out, Siegfried Sturr has gone out, and Jacques Lafitte has just gone through. He is definitely increasing his lead. It is now 5.5 seconds. And they are on their 49th lap. 5 laps to go, including the lap that they're on. And far be it from me to say that the race pattern is set, because I've said that too many times in the past, only to have something very dramatic happening. But certainly, Lafitte, who I thought was in trouble, is clearly not, because he is increasing his lead and on his way to 9 World Championship points, and he's increasing that lead over René Arnoux. And Jacques Lafitte's gap between himself in 3rd position and Nelson Piquet, who is 2nd in the World Championship, is 10 points. If Lafitte wins, he will get 9 points. If Piquet finishes in 3rd place, he will get 4 points. So Jacques Lafitte, at a stroke, will have half the gap between himself and the man who is ahead of him in the World Championship. And by the way, as we look at René Arnoux in 2nd place on lap 49, there are only 12 cars left in the race. Left out of the 24 who started.
Well, we've just had news that it's maybe raining around the back of the circuit. Little drops of rain coming down. I can't see any clouds around, particularly heavy, well, not heavy ones. They look quite high. But if that is the case, then of course that should liven things up, and all sorts of fun and games could start. We get a little bit of a wetting for the track. Of course, if we get any serious rain, they'd have to stop the race and declare a result. So we've now already completed 3/4 distance, and they can never have people come in and change tyres in these pits. They're just about the smallest pits in Grand Prix racing.
Number 5 there that's just gone through, Nelson Piquet, and the gap between Lafitte and in the lead and Arnoux in 2nd place is now 6 seconds, and it's about 5 seconds between number 5 here, the brilliant Brazilian Nelson Piquet, the winner of the Argentine Grand Prix this year, the winner of the San Marino and the German Grand Prix, and a lot of other good places, despite the fact that in Belgium, in Monaco, in Spain, and in the British Grand Prix he failed to finish, but he's in 2nd place in the World Championship. Nelson Piquet, 3rd in the Austrian Grand Prix. 4 points in the bag think if he can keep going, that will give him 39 points. And at this stage in the World Championship, because this is round 11 out of 15, if you can, the thing to do, Jacques Lafitte, the leader, is to get up in the points and stay there. Obviously, as high up as you possibly can. Jacques Lafitte completing in a moment. Lap 50 out of 53. People do watch the Grand Prix on television with a stopwatch in their hand to do their own timing. You'll have taken the gap between this man in second place, René Arnoux, who is up to the Glatt curve. This is a 140-mile-an-hour bend in fourth gear as they come out of it. Crest the rise, up into fifth. The descent, first of all, to the sweeping left-hander, the fastest part of the course. 180 miles an hour for Arnoux, with his car bouncing on the rigid suspension. Then down at least one gear into the Bosch curve, about 11,000 RPM and 145 miles an hour. Now up another gear, back into third for the left-hander at the Texaco bends. That's a good 140 miles an hour. And the left-hander that he's coming up to now is the one where Carlos Reutemann says you can actually physically black out because of the enormous G-forces. John Watson passes me, staggering round. The engine sounding rougher and rougher, lap by lap, but he's still in sixth position, and he's still in the points. As Jacques Lafitte crosses the line, there is the race leader. And he's just got this lap and the next one to go, and the gap between him and René Arnoux is 4.7 seconds. Piquet is gaining on Arnoux, and very close to Piquet is Alan Jones. In fact, there's going to be quite a scrap for third position in the closing stages of the race as Reutemann goes through, still in the points in fifth position. And Alan and John Watson is going to be lapped, I think, by Lafitte before the end of the race. Reutemann is now on his last lap but one. Lafitte disappears from view, reappears on the downhill section. He's on his way to the Bosch curve on lap 52 out of 53. And this, if he wins, will be the first victory he has had this year, notwithstanding the fact that he's already won 4 Grand Prix in his career. He won in the V12 Matra-powered Ligier in Sweden some years ago. He won in the Argentine and Brazil. Last year he won in Germany. But this year, although he has been second in Belgium and second in Spain, third at Monaco, third in Britain and third in Germany, and a sixth in Brazil, very, very consistent. Jacques Lafitte has yet to win a 1981 Grand Prix. And this, the Austrian Grand Prix, could be the one. He is coming out of the Jochen Rindt curve now to start lap 53. He's into that last lap now. Round the Österreich ring then with Jacques Lafitte, and the gap between Arnoux and Piquet is down to 4 seconds. The gap between Piquet, who is in third position, and Jones, who is in fourth place, is 3 seconds. And then there's a long gap before Carlos Reutemann goes through in fifth place, let alone John Watson, who is still sixth. But on his winning way now goes 37-year-old Jacques Lafitte, almost home for his first Grand Prix win of 1981 in his 105th Grand Prix, with his ex-team man that he worked for as a mechanic, Jean-Pierre Jabouille, because Jacques Lafitte started his career as a mechanic, worked for the man who is now his brother-in-law, Jean-Pierre Jabouille, and Jabouille is now Jacques Lafitte's, I think you can hardly call it team manager, but he is certainly very much a power in the Talbot team. Now now that Ducar Rouge is out of it. And Jacques Lafitte now round the Texaco bends, up over the crest on his way to the Jochenried curve. That's it now, he's into the last right-hander of the circuit, and when you see the knobbly bit, that's it. Jacques Lafitte has won, he can't possibly be beaten now. The 1981 Austrian Grand Prix, and the Ligier himself, Guy Ligier, and all the Ligier mechanics burst out of the pit, vault the wall, as René Arnoux finishes second and Piquet third. That's how close it was. There is Alan Jones finishing in fourth position. So the world champion has at last finished in a race after having an appalling run of bad luck. Carlos Reutemann will be the next one through in fifth position. And I'm looking for the Argentine now as there they give the results, notwithstanding the fact that Carlos Reutemann had coasts across the line with a dead engine. Carlos Reutemann coasts across the line with a dead engine, but definitely to take fifth position. Now we're just waiting for the crippled Marlboro MP4 of John Watson to come through in sixth position. But without a doubt, Jacques Lafitte, with that race time of 1 hour, 27.36 minutes, which is 1.5 minutes longer than the winning time last year of Jean-Pierre Jabouille, has definitely won the Austrian Grand Prix, his first victory. And incidentally, as Piquet and Arnoux go round together, look, they have thrown the suspension operating switch to lift the cars, and they look like praying mantises now, all three of them. Look at the Talbot, way off the ground, with not 6 millimeters of space. John Watson has limped across the line in sixth position, and the Talbot way up, like it was on stilts. Look at it. He's making quite sure that there's going to be no problem about passing the farcical ground clearance test. And a very popular victory, obviously. And behind him, also on tiptoes, on tip wheels, come the second and third cars of René Arnoux and Nelson Piquet.
Stelle, aber ich glaube, mit Jacques Lafitte muss man im Finale dieser Weltmeisterschaft 1981 noch sehr stark rechnen. Vor allem deshalb, weil der Franzose, das hat Ihnen Niki vorhin gesagt, relativ unbeschwert fahren kann. Und ich habe mit Lafitte, der ja doch schon einige Jahre jetzt in der Formel 1 dabei ist, einmal über seine Hoffnung, Weltmeister zu werden, gesprochen. Und Lafitte hat gesagt, schau, mir ist es eigentlich am liebsten, ich werde erst in 5 oder 6 Jahren Weltmeister, weil dann kann ich so lange noch Formel 1 fahren. Wenn ich dieses oder nächstes Jahr Weltmeister werden würde, dann müsste ich aufhören, weil nach so vielen Jahren in der Formel 1, ich wüsste einfach nicht, was ich mit mir anfangen sollte, in welchen anderen Beruf ich wechseln sollte. René Arnoux, einer der Dominatoren des Rennens, genauso wie sein Teamkollege Alain Prost, und trotzdem nicht Sieger, aber immerhin der zweite Platz für René Arnoux ist mit Abstand sein bestes Ergebnis in dieser Saison. René Arnoux hat also zum ersten Mal jetzt den Sprung auf Siegerfoto oder auf Siegespodest der ersten 3 geschafft. Bisher in dieser Saison zweimal Achter, einmal Fünfter, einmal Vierter und zuletzt 13. in Hockenheim. Das ist der strahlende Sieger, der Franzose Jacques Lafitte. 37 Jahre alt, ein Allround-Sportler, der in nahezu allen Sportarten Hervorragendes leistet. Er galt jahrelang als der beste Tennisspieler der Formel-1-Truppe, bis er dann erst beim Formel-1-Tennisturnier auf dem Hockenheimring besiegt wurde, und zwar im Finale von Riccardo Patrese.
Das war ein spannender Grand Prix heute, meine Damen und Herren. Ein Dankeschön Ihnen schon jetzt allen, die bis zuletzt ausgeharrt haben, aber es war kein Grund, nur einen Augenblick früher wegzugehen, denn bis zuletzt wechseln die Ereignisse, 4 Führende hier heute und dann der knappe Einlauf. Hier offiziell Gesamtzeit 1 Stunde 27 Minuten 36.
Bei Start und Ziel schlägt natürlich die Begeisterung jetzt über Jacques Lafitte zusammen. Nelson Piquet, der Dritter geworden ist einer der ersten Gratulanten für den Franzosen. Links Lafitte und von der Kamera im Augenblick nicht erfasst der dritte Piquet. Auf dem Siegerfoto der ersten 3 sehen wir also Lafitte als Sieger, Arnoux als Zweiten und Piquet als Dritten. Wir werden versuchen, noch vor der Siegerehrung ein Interview mit Jacques Laffite zu machen. Hier haben Sie Nelson Piquet. Er ist Dritter geworden. Dritter wie schon im französischen Grand Prix in Dijon. Vielleicht nicht ganz das, was sich Piquet heute erwartet hat, aber wir dürfen nicht vergessen, Piquet stand ja in der Startaufstellung nicht so günstig. Laffite war der viertschnellste im Training und Piquet war ja langsamer gewesen als die Williams-Fahrer. Reutemann und Jones hat sie allerdings im Rennen besiegt.
Fourth number 1, Alan Jones, Saudi Arabia. Fifth number 2, Carlos Reutemann, Saudi Arabia. Sixth number 7.
Das ist die Idiotie mit der Chassis-Hydraulik, die Nelson Piquet gerade mit Niki Lauda diskutiert hat.
7th D'Angelis, 8th Cesaris, 9th Pironi, 10th Charrier, 11th Daly.
Jetzt der kleine René Arnoux, völlig abgekämpft. Sehr glücklich schaut er nicht aus. Dreimal hat er schon Trainingsbestzeit auf dem Österreich-Ring gehabt, noch nie hat er gewonnen. Und jetzt von Dr. Gustav Thieroch der Lorbeerkranz und der Riesenpokal für den Sieger im Österreich-Grand Prix, den Franzosen Jacques Laffite auf Ligier, Talbot, Matra. Links im Bild, das ist Guy Ligier.